Thank you for clicking on this video. Getting right into it. The point of this video is to teach you some of the most common reasons that a relationship fails, especially for a male who is new to dating. And it's not only to just leave you with that so you walk away from this feeling miserable and depressed. That's not what the goal of this channel is. The goal is to leave you by the end of this video feeling more empowered and ready to take back control of your life, your relationships, and build better and stronger new relationships. Let's get right into it. This is a very conflicting video for me to make. I honestly feel very conflicted in these ideas. Emotionally, I'm like, no. What am I talking about? Why am I making this video? This is like, it just, in this like, I guess in this like old way of me thinking, like the way that I'm trying to not think anymore, like the bad mentalities I have. I would never be able to make this video. I'm only able to make this video because I have seen both sides of it. I have lived it. I have experienced it. I have seen other people go through it. I've read books about it. Really good book, The Rational Male. Definitely talks a lot. Help you really like understand this. So what am I talking about? Is that you're not supposed to stay with your first girlfriend. You're not supposed to stay with the first girl you fall in love with. You're for sure not supposed to stay with your first girlfriend. And you know, like granted, like this is not a video for everyone. If you're just naturally just going through a lot of different girls, having a lot of experiences in your life, and then you meet someone who you really think was better than all the other options and fits all your qualifications that you've grown over time, that's fine. Though a lot of young men are going through this problem, and I think it's ruining their lives, where they may not have their first serious relationship until they're in their 20s, possibly their late teens, though, you know, really possibly until their 20s. It might be the first time they get any from a girl. They have sex with a girl for the first time, and it's just, this girl seems so awesome at the time. There's such a rush of chemicals, of emotions. Everything just seems so meant to be. It's so easy for you to fall into a trap that this is your soulmate, especially if this is the first time you're getting in with a girl. You're gonna feel like you're falling in love. Like, I'm gonna be honest, the other day I was eating some Taco Bell, some nachos, and I got steak and I got extra cheese with it, and I felt like I was falling in love. It was really that damn good. And this is how you're gonna feel the first time you get with a girl. It's not guaranteed. Perhaps you're not really that kind of guy, and maybe this didn't happen for you. Though you might, if you are that kind of guy who you're watching this because you're in your first serious long-term relationship and you feel like you're in love with this girl, though you know she has a lot of red flags, she has a lot of bad habits, there's a lot of signs that you shouldn't do this. Your friend is telling you shouldn't do this. Your gut is telling you you shouldn't do this. If you try to sit there logically and think about it, you're thinking you shouldn't do this. If you go on YouTube and you watch any video on red flags, and she has a lot of them, but you're just telling yourself, you know, you're looking past her flaws, her bipolar personality disorder, and you're just telling yourself her crazy mood swings, and you're just telling her crazy mood swings, and you're just telling yourself her crazy mood swings, and you're just telling yourself that you love this girl. This girl is your soulmate. It was meant to be. You know? All these other women it didn't work out with, and then this one, she was just so much easier to talk to, and we just clicked. Maybe she was easier to talk to because she was crazy. Maybe she was easier to talk to because she knows she has problems. She knows she isn't all there mentally. Maybe she's just an easy girl, and she hooked you after she went through her phase, her party phase of doing whatever she wanted to do, and then she hooked you because you were the beta male provider. And you think this girl's in love with you when this girl might just be dependent on you. When specifically talking about dealing with girls with bipolar personality disorder, you're this girl's victim. This girl, if you try to leave this girl, her mindset is not she's losing her lover. her mindset is she's losing her victim. And she's grown very, very dependent on you because you're feeding her bipolar personality disorder. You're feeding into her reality. You're helping her sustain her reality, and perhaps you're even providing for her. You know, perhaps you're the only one working. Perhaps you're the one paying the majority of the bills. Perhaps it's your place that she's really living into, and you got to really take a step back in your life. You got to honestly ask yourself. Honestly, I would really recommend, the biggest thing I would recommend, you know, I'm going to put this in right here, like what I said before. Go look up a couple of different lists of red flags. You know, if you want to do it really quickly and easily, just do a Google search. So there's definitely some really good red flag videos, YouTube's out there. Some really good red flag videos on YouTube out there. Pay attention to those red flags. Listen to those red flags. If your person that you're with actually has a lot of these red flags, take it seriously. And why I say this can ruin your life if you don't is because you're going to completely ignore this video. Maybe you go watch the red flags and you find that she actually has 90% of them. You find that she, for some reason, very consistently has a lot of the red flags that get talked about. The point of this video wasn't just to throw out a bunch of red flags, though. Like, perhaps like a red flag that she may have is, like I said, constant mood swings. Really big red flag. Well, actually a simple one is just she's on her phone way too much. You know, she has trouble focusing and paying attention. That could just get you upset really easy in a relationship. So a really big red flag that I wanted to bring up was she never truly apologizes for anything she does. She never truly accepts responsibility for when she's wrong. When she makes a mistake, she never owns up to it. She never admits to it. She never tries to correct her mistakes. She tries to kind of just wash everything away. That is a really big red flag right there, because you're entering into a relationship where she's never going to deal with her problem. She's never going to approach, think about, consider her problems. She's never going to try to fix them. And you're entering into a relationship where this woman is just constantly going to pour the same exact problems on you every single day till it drives you crazy and you leave, or till it drives you crazy and you kill yourself. Don't do that. Don't actually do that. I did actually make a video on suicide. If you would like to check that out, don't do that. Just leave. If it's really that bad, just leave. I also did make a video on getting over her if you need that to help you. There's definitely, I have a video on that, and I honestly think that was just an amazing video I did. I believe the title right now, I may change it, but it's how to truly move on, the one I just cured. And it has this little photo. It's not, oh wait, yeah, I can adjust the focus. It's got that photo right there. It says she wasn't the one. And honestly, I'm really like, I'm not honestly recommending that video just to promote myself or to toot my own horn. I actually put a lot of thought, a lot of really good information into that video. A lot of it really came from the book The Rational Male. Did I mention that already? If I didn't mention it, I definitely recommend reading it. A lot of it really came from that book and just from life experience, and it really just kind of destroys the whole idea of the soulmate myth, to believe that there's a true just one and only person out there, to believe that anyone's perfect for you and you just need to find the perfect person. It talks about taking your power back as a man. It talks about building actual functional relationships, and just like, again, not to toot my own horn, like when I watched that video I was like, oh my god, I'm actually surprised at how good it came out. Getting back on subject, this video was inspired by MJ Get Right. He's a guy I've been definitely becoming a fan of recently. He's the one who actually said this, brought this idea up that you should not stay with your first girlfriend, and that what happens to a lot of men is they get tricked, they get trapped, They are living in a scarcity mindset and not an abundance mindset. They believe that this girl, especially because they've been without a woman for so long and then they finally get one, they're so desperate to keep her. And this is just doomed to fail. This is guaranteed to fail because you're going to put her on this pedestal. You're going to be way too good for her. You're going to be willing to give her everything and expect nothing in return. And that might be fine for a while, but that's going to build up. The longer you're with this person, the more you're going to realize how much you're really giving to them and how little you get in return. The more you're going to realize how much you're giving to them and how little you're going to get in return. And to really like bring up like really the main argument of this video is to realize that if this is truly your first serious relationship, it's very natural. You're not wrong. You're not doing anything wrong. It's very natural for you to just truly fall in love with this person. You may fall more in love with this person than you will anyone else in your entire life. And moving on from this person may be the hardest thing you have to do. Though at the same time, you got to realize you're being completely effing delusional. You don't actually love her that much. She's not actually that great. The sex is not actually that good. You're going to have more experiences. And if you get out there, you get over your fear of approaching a woman. You get over your fear of starting all over. You get over your fear that you're going to end up alone one day. You get over your fear of losing your soulmate, because that's detrimental. Because you think you're losing your soulmate, then you think leaving her is losing a part of yourself. You start to believe there's more women out there. You start to believe you can attract more women. You start to realize the power that you have as a man. This is one of the biggest points in that video that I mentioned that's really good, because I show you the whole chart of the sexual market value, showing you how it's just very, very natural and inevitable, and explain in a lot more detail that woman's value starts off really high and men's value kind of starts off really low. Though in around 30 years old, as an average, women's values start to crash and men start to rise. And they really do kind of go hand in hand. Women start to lose their looks and they start to care. They start to be able to attract less in their life. They start to care less about looks and start looking for more for security. Men are starting to become more grounded, more secure, more stable. And the power shifts. And this is really to tell you that, first of all, you probably got into this relationship in the point where it actually seemed like a win-win situation, where this woman may have actually been out of your league and you may have actually been lesser than her in a sexual market scale. Though eventually the power is going to tip where you hit the balancing point. And what happens in this section a lot of times is people get married, people have kids, and it's because the woman is playing the out of you. She's playing the shit out of you. She knows. She's never going to tell you this. She knows she's about to crash, and she sees you going up. And she knows this. She knows the crash does not apply the same for men. She knows that no matter how attractive she may be at 35 years old, she may look perfect at 35, that something about a 25-year-old is going to attract men's attention a lot more. She knows she's been living her entire life in fear of the day that she crashes. She's trying to lock you down right now. If she is, she's trying to lock you down right now because her goal is to lock down a man to take care of her when she loses her looks. And what's worse is if you're in a scenario where the woman's drinking a lot, perhaps doing other drugs, eating horribly, and not exercising, she's already given up on herself. That's even worse. She's rushing to her crash. She's already telling you that when she's 35, she's going to be overweight, out of shape, and she's just not going to care, but she's still going to expect you to take care of her. It's just all setting you up for failure when you got to start to realize this peak ends with the man actually coming up on top. Don't get yourself trapped into a relationship when your life is just getting started, when your peak is just getting started, when you're just starting to rise in your sexual market value, where you're just coming into power. Forget this. The most growth you're going to get in your entire life is when you leave this woman, is when you move on, is when you start to face all the fears that was keeping you in that relationship, all the fears that were keeping you from starting new relationships. And facing those fears is the same exact thing that's going to drive you forward in your life to be more successful. It's not even just about dating. It's going to drive you more in your life to be more successful in every single area, in every single aspect of your life. You're going to have to deal with so many levels of emotional issues. That doesn't sound good, but you're going to end in the end a much stronger, much better, much happier person, much more fulfilled. You're going to have better relationships. You're going to meet people that actually respect you. You're going to realize that not all women are exactly the same, that there isn't necessarily a perfect woman out there, but some of them are better than others. You're going to start to actually, what I really want to make sure I get in this video is you need to actually date a lot of different women. You need to see what you actually really like in them and what you actually really don't like in them. Get yourself some variety, get yourself some flavors, get yourself different samples of women. Sounds very derogative. Get yourself some different samples of women and start to actually build a character around what your soulmate would actually look like, what she would actually act like, what she would actually be like. What would she do naturally, you know? Is she naturally someone who wants to be a good housewife, a supportive woman who wants to help push you towards your goals and your dreams and your aspirations? Or is her only goal to get drunk, to have you take her out, and then you desperately hope you have sex at the end of the day? Like, what's your relationship coming to? And how good can your relationship possibly be? And drop this BS mindset that you need to fix people. I'm going to tell you right now why there's no such thing as Captain Save a Hoe. I was actually going to save this for an entire another video right now, and I probably will still make an entire another video about this because this subject definitely deserves an entire video about why there's no such thing as Captain Save a Hoe and why they don't want to be saved. Why they don't want to be saved. If you read the book Men Are From Mars, Women for Venus, it explains this idea really well. And I don't say things just because the book says it. I say things because the book said it, and then I saw it actually work in real life, or I've seen it actually work in real life. And I'm like, to me, in my personal experience, this is actually a true thing. Women, when they're telling you their problems, don't actually want you to solve their problems, at least not in that very moment. Maybe in the grand scale of things, in an overarching aspect, they would like it if you, at least mentally, would like it if you married them, had kids, were rich, were successful, bought house, bought cars, took care of them, and their life was great. In a grand scale of things, perhaps. But in the moment she's telling you her actual problems, she's not looking for you to be a solution boy. She's just looking to tell you her problems. She's just trying to get it off her chest. She's not asking you to save her. She's not asking you to save her. There's no such thing as Captain Save a Hoe. She's not asking you to fix her problems. She just wants you to sit there and listen to her problems. Not with this attitude I'm having right now, but she just wants you to sit there and listen to her problems and just, soothe her, cuddle her, make her feel secure, make her feel okay. And not make her feel okay and like you're trying to tell her, oh baby, don't worry about that, like type of stuff, or you're trying to offer her solutions to her problems. Like, stop talking to those people if they're hurting you. She just wants you to sit there and be like, oh, you sounds like you had a hard day. Oh, okay, yeah. And then you're like, wow, yeah, well, yeah. I didn't know your day was so hard. Come here, let me give you a hug and let me hold you for a moment. She don't want you to save her. There ain't no such thing as Captain Save a Hoe. Get out of your first relationship. Don't marry her. Don't have kids with her. If you've already married her, you already had kids with her, you don't have to stay there. Do yourself a favor. Definitely, I think I'm going to leave you with this point. Do yourself a favor at least. Assess the situation as hard as possible. Take an entire day of your life at least, or an entire week. At least an entire day to just contemplate really hard if you should be in this relationship. Watch a lot of videos on things to look for in relationships. Things to avoid and things you want. Watch all the videos, read all the advice that you can on reasons you shouldn't date a woman, reasons you should leave a woman, red flags in a woman. Watch all the advice and read all the advice you can on why you should stay with a woman, what you want in a woman. At least do that. You know, if you're not going to actually go out and experience it for yourself and just try a bunch of different women out and then figure out for yourself what you like and what you don't like because you're already in this relationship, at least ask yourself the honest, real questions. Worst case scenario, it's a waste of your time, but at least you go back into your relationship feeling more secure, more confident, and more happy about it, and you'll never watch another video about this again. Or other worst case scenario, best case scenario, is you get out, you leave, you go. You say, forget it. Just because I'm married to this woman and I have kids with her, doesn't mean this is my life. Doesn't mean I have to do this. It doesn't mean I truly need to be responsible. Maybe this woman did just play me. Maybe she did just use me. Maybe, you know, as much as I want to be a father to my kids, I know that this isn't right. I know that I'm setting them a bad example of a relationship, that my relationship with her is horrible, and that I need to do what's best for me. I need to do what's best for me. You need to do what's best for you. You. And go live the life you were meant to live. Go have the relationships you were meant to have. Go find the love you was meant to have. And go have more kids. It sounds wrong. Like, I'm encouraging people. Like, I'm not telling people to just leave your marriage just for the sake of leaving your marriage and leave your kids for the sake of leaving your kids. I'm telling you that if you're going to eventually end this relationship and leave this relationship anyway, the sooner you can do it, the better. The longer you wait, the harder it's going to be. The more you're going to be stuck in the situation, the more you're going to be attached to the woman, the more you're going to be attached to the kids. And if you're going to leave anyway because you already know you can't stand her, the sooner you leave, the less emotional trauma you have to deal with, the easier it is to move on. And most importantly, the younger, the healthier you'll be. The more youth, the more time you have, the more energy you have so that you can still go out and create a better life for yourself. And honestly, I don't care if you're 75 years old. If you ain't happy, if she playing you, just leave her. Don't worry about it. Go do whatever you have to do to find someone else to date. Go on your internet and if you have to and try dating apps. This is definitely not the thing I would recommend, but do whatever you have to do. Get out into the real world and go talk to every single woman you possibly can and find someone else. Another point that I wanted to make for another video, but I'll bring up here too, is you're better off. Sometimes you're really a lot better off, or maybe even all the times, you're really a lot better off starting a whole new relationship than trying to salvage one that's already ruined. If she already knows how to trigger you, she already knows how to play you, she already knows how to take advantage of you, she already knows how to push your buttons, you're not going to get away with that. No amount of self-improvement and self-love is going to fix that. If she already knows how to trigger you, she's going to keep triggering you. If you enter into a new relationship as a full, strong, proud, confident man, the woman is going to respect you a lot more, and it's easier for you to keep that respect with a woman. Once you lost the respect of a woman, is basically, that's it. That's the end of the relationship. Now, that sounds harsh. That sounds very harsh. But yeah, it could be near to impossible to really get a woman to truly respect you again, especially when she already knows how to play you. She's going to keep playing you. And if you enter into this new relationship, especially the older and older and older you are, the less the woman is going to want to play you. Because now you're entering from a different scenario. This woman is more desperate to be in a relationship than you are, especially the older she is. She's more desperate to be in a relationship than you are. She's a lot less likely to play you. Like, you might be in this relationship where you got in this relationship early, where, like, again, as I said earlier, where this woman maybe even had higher value than you, or maybe she didn't, but you believe she did, and you let her play you, and you let her play you, and you let her play you. You may have entered this relationship in a situation where you let her play you, and the best thing for you to do is to leave, enter another relationship where A, the woman's not trying to play you from the start, and B, you also don't let her play you at the same time. And because you enter from this mindset, you enter from this position, you enter into a relationship when you're older and you're wiser with a woman who knows she doesn't have time to play games. She knows she doesn't have the option to play the games because she's just not as young and attractive as she used to. It gives you the power back, gives you the respect back, and gives you the ability to be happy and to enjoy your life. This is not really to tell you, again, now I'm changing the point, it's not even to tell you to just leave your first relationship, to leave your horrible marriage, to leave your horrible long-term relationship. It's just to tell you now, and end it with, do what's going to make you the happiest possible. Forget this what's right and what's wrong BS. Unless God literally came down, you believe in God or not, unless he literally comes down and tells you this is right, this is wrong, under whose authority is it right or is it wrong for you to leave your relationship? Who's the one who gets to decide that? Like, if you've been with this woman, even if she's just letting herself go, she doesn't care about herself and she's just completely given up on herself, even if she's not the most mean person, you gotta set the boundary, you gotta set the limit for what you're willing to put up with, you gotta set the standards of your life. And as a man, it is your job on this planet to go live the best life you possibly can. Women are just looking for the best man that they can provide them with the best life they can. It's your job to be the man who has the best life possible. Attract a woman into your life who wants to be a part of that. I'm feeling myself get into a bit of a rambling state where I'm just going to go all over the place now. If I helped you out in any way, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to check out other videos on the channel related to these subjects. Feel free to ask any questions if there's a subject in here you want me to explain in more detail. And yeah, I don't know if I said it, feel free to subscribe. I helped you in any way, and thank you for watching.